So, a common question that people ask me all the time is, what should I do with my life, right? And it's a fair enough question. We're all on this earth for, if you're being born now, we could be alive for 100 years, right? So, it's important to figure out, what you're going to do with your life and what your life purpose really is, right? But a big problem that people have is they just tend to really overcomplicate things, right? So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to break down, just in a general sense, what your life purpose should be. So I picked this up from a mentor of mine, Ray Dalio, who I've never met in person, but I've studied his stuff extensively for years that he's written and put out on YouTube and stuff like that. And I picked this up from his book called Principles for Success. So I highly suggest you check out this book. It's a shortened down version of a 600-page book that Ray wrote called Principles. But in this book, he does a really good job of sort of breaking down what our life purpose really is. So let me start by explaining just a simple evolutionary fact here, okay? So let me see if I can get this right. So here's the deal. Everything in the universe is in the process of evolving, whether in a positive or a negative state. So if you break it down to even an atomic level, everything is either in a state of improvement or it's in a state of breaking down, right? So what this kind of looks like is this. So this would be sort of like an upward spiral there, okay, with the arrow at the end. So that would be somebody whose life is in a state of positive direction. On the other hand, we've got a negative spiral with the arrow on the inside. That would be a negative state of evolution, okay? So through all of our entire lives, we're constantly in a change of evolution. With everything that we're doing, we're either improving or we're regressing from where we should be, right? So all through life, you're going to be going through this personal evolution, okay? And really, that's part of your life's purpose. So there's four main areas that we can evolve in, really. We have, let me get this right. We have our health. Let's see, can we see this here? Hardly. We have our wealth. We have our happiness. And we have a spiritual aspect to our beings. Okay. I don't know if you can see that there. Okay, so constantly throughout our lives, we're going to be evolving in all these different areas, right? But while we're going through this personal evolution of life, it's also part of our life's purpose to be contributing to sort of an overall evolutionary story. So while this is going on in our personal evolution, all around us, everywhere else in the world outside of our own being, there's a greater evolutionary story taking place. So let's say that this is just a starting point, and all around us, there's just a bigger, much bigger narrative going on about the entire world improving, right? So here's us, just a little being in the middle of this, and everywhere around us, this infinitely expands into a greater evolutionary story. So how do you play into this story, right? So within us, we have our own evolutionary timeline of improving or regressing. But ideally, you should also be contributing within that story of yourself to a much, much bigger evolutionary story. What that means is that you should be making it your life's purpose to be improving that evolutionary story in some way, whether it's just helping one person out in your lifetime or helping out 1,000 people, whether it's solving one tiny little problem in your lifetime, or it's solving thousands of massive problems for the world in your lifetime. But what our life's purpose should be to contribute positively to this greater evolutionary story. So people are asking, what should I do with my life? You're telling me this, I understand it, but what should I do now with my life? And the reality is that it just doesn't really matter, because all throughout your life, there's going to be dozens of different things that you do. You might have a different career every 3 years for the rest of your lifetime. So it doesn't really matter what specifically you do, as long as you know that it's contributing to this greater evolutionary story in a positive way. So, maybe you're doing something now that, helps the world just in a very, very small way. Maybe you're not making much of an impact at all. Or maybe you're working on something that's so grand, it's going to change the world forever. At the end of the day, the only thing that really makes a difference is whether or not you're contributing to your own personal evolution, but also contributing to this much, much bigger evolution going on all around you. So that's it, guys. We really don't need to overcomplicate anything. There's really no reason to get caught up in the little minutia of what you should be doing exactly or what you shouldn't be doing. The truth is you just need to be doing something. And as long as that something is contributing positively, then you're doing the right thing. So that's my message for you today, guys. Let me know what you think about this. Let me know if you want me to expand on anything about this, and I'll talk to you soon.